right, we're dealing with the 2003 Chevy Silverado. This thing got a lot of miles on it, 245,944 miles. Now, I did have to replace this instrument cluster, but was a remanufactured one with the correct mileage. So this is legitimate mileage. I don't see this customer but maybe once or twice a year. He's an older guy, and you know, he babies a truck. He don't drive his truck hard, and unfortunately, it's here with I don't want to say stalling. He said it went into a reduced power mode, and it had a code P0220. So let's take a look at that, because that's the only code that's present. Because right now, I mean, it's running fine. Don't have any issues. Other than me having to change the oil. I mean, there's no drivability issues right now from me starting it up and pulling it in. So let's just see what the freeze frame data states and go from there. I mean, besides the typical smoke and stuff, and you know, the duct tape door, it's got a lot of duct tape on here. It's cosmetically, it's not that appealing. But I will say this guy, if he has an oil leak, Brad, fix it. So I mean, I have done a lot as far as resolving the oil leaks over the years. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, but this is what it looks like now. I haven't even put any brake cleaner or anything to it. So mind you, I did the valve covers and multiple different gaskets years ago, and this is just the state that it looks like now. So I don't see this guy but once or twice a year. Let's see here. So our current code, I'm in the OBD function. This is just the global function. I'm just going to show you what you would probably see. Oh, I got to put the key in on position. This is what you would see if you had any generic scan tool. So we're going to take a gander at this. Sarah J, I think we were having a discussion in one of my last videos about like Alltel products. And let me put it this way. It's bittersweet. Alltel have its moments, but for the most part, it's a cheap, economical tool, and it's pretty versatile. So I do appreciate the tool. It do have some bugs that can be done, have some better improvements and workarounds. But other than that, I'm going to show you the difference between looking at generic data versus looking at the bidirectional data. So you'll be able to see if the tool is necessary or not for diagnostic purposes. And most of the time, well, all the time, this tool is just only going to be a diagnostic aid. It's not going to tell you what's wrong with it, but we do have an unsatisfied condition. It's up to us to formulate some sort of game plan to figure out the underlying causes, whether it be absence of powers or grounds. This is not going to tell you that. So let's look a little further into this. So we're dealing with P0220. It's a throttle pedal position sensor switch B circuit. All right, so there's a throttle and pedal position sensor, so there's a correlation issue. Let's look in freeze frame data. The freeze frame data is what's going to give you a snapshot, basically the black box of the airplane. Hey, why does this go down? What took place? What important pieces of information we're going to look at that's correlated with our trouble code. Now, this is not going to be related really, but depending on the influences on the fuel delivery, we could have some fuel trim problems. But that's strange that long term on one is 18%, adding 18% of fuel. These do have can have potential oxygen sensor problems, so we'll take that as a grain of salt. So here's our fuel trims, which tell us about the fuel delivery inputs and how it's outputted. So that's pretty much it. Our intake manifold pressure, that's going to be relevant for what we're looking for. We just need things that are accelerator pedal and throttle position sensor related, and this is the only generic pieces of data we got, which is 3% absolute throttle. Based off of the snapshot, it seemed like this took place during the starting sequence. So 0 RPM, 0 mile per hour, like a key cycle. So it's a possibility he experienced an issue, shut it down, start it back up, and that's when it detected a fault. Let's go into the bidirectional portion, because this was limited data because I need a little bit more pieces of information that I'm not getting in generic function. So you'll see where the bidirectional tool begin to shine. All right, so the VIN has been detected and all the RPO information has been added into the bidirectional portion. So we got the appropriate vehicle information. So we're going to go right into the powertrain, go into our trouble code and see what's available here. Now, sometimes you may get codes, because I think it had that same code and then it had a oil pressure sensor code too. Sometimes you may get frivolous codes, current and history. So we have a P0220, what we were looking at before, throttle position sensor circuit 2. So see how it's more detailed than the last one. So before it was suspecting a throttle or accelerator pedal. This is isolated with a throttle position. So, and then we have a P0522's engine oil pressure sensor circuit. So that's irrelevant right now. So we had a pass and fail history with the main one we're looking for, and then a current pass. Let's go into our freeze frame data. Uh-oh, did I go back out? Okay, here we go. Go into our freeze frame data. I'm gonna be honest, guys, this is the boring part of trying to figure out the underlying cause to get some direction, but this is part of the job. So here we go. So we have our other codes here. So we need to go to either freeze frame data for the P0220 or this one down here. So let's just take this top one. All right, so already we got a lot more RPM. I mean, that's RPM. I was reading that. So already we got a lot more data. So we got engine temperature. We got desired versus actual. So we have a desired idle speed and actual. This is good information that we need. Engine coolant temperature. We have accelerator pedal information. Throttle position right here. Look at that. We have a desired right here versus an actual indication. So the vehicle wanted to see 15%, but was only making 3%. So it's a couple things that could be going on here. Could be a voltage issue. Could be actual throttle position sensing issue, meaning that there's like this varying potentiometer inside the throttle position, in which when it starts to, sorry, had another car get dropped off. But varying in potential, meaning that as it slides through and this little spring tension wire reads it, that can wear itself out. I mean, you got elements that could probably get in there through the gasket that are ferrous metals that are in there breaking down and getting thrown around. Could be. And as things get wet or moisture in the environment, it becomes conductive and things can happen. So there's no telling what's going on inside that throttle body. But I can tell you this, I mean, from the little bit that I did look up, like on Identifix, I mean, there are a lot of people who replace their throttle body, but I have to check it to make sure that that's what it is. Well, let's go back into this PID data. So we got desired versus actual, which is a good thing. That's already a step up from the generic pieces of information that we got before. And fuel trim information is going to be irrelevant, but we see something similar here, 17% long-term on bank one. Hold on a second. The customer came back and got some out of their car. Sorry about that. So we see that long-term fuel trim on bank one. Just again, take it as a grain of salt. Engine runtime was 0. Mileage since first failure, 3.1. Mileage since last failure. So we got some context, and it's correlating exactly what he was saying. He said he would drive it and he would have to shut it down. So I'm gonna ignore that gear 3. You can be in like park and it will say gear 3 for some strange reason. I think I've seen it before. That's like some dummy data. I want to see throttle position sensor voltage though. Where is? I gotta look back at that. One thing I could do is try to simulate this, but it was stationary. Let's go back. Let's go into the next piece of freeze frame that we saw. I think we went to the top one. Let's go to this second one here. I don't think they're going to be anything different. So we're still at 0 RPM, same piece of information. Let's see, the same mileage. It seemed like there's some missing PID data in this one. Okay, so we got some information. We need to be checking throttle position sensor 2 feedback information. Let's see what our current data is displaying. There's a lot of things that can take place from a dynamic aspect. I mean, the vacuum could probably pull in the throttle plate back and encourage it to drop off a little more. It could be the throttle position monitoring mechanism. Where are we going here? Throttle actuator. So that I can't figure out the word like I want to say, like that little plate that monitors it. So we got a desired angle. All right, so we could potentially have a dirty throttle body. Could just be out of calibration. Could be a lot of things. One thing I don't suspect though, but it could be, I'm not going to break my neck over. Usually you get too much throttle compensation if we have a desired angle but the actual indicated angle is higher than 20%. Usually 21 with Chevys is going to cause some problems. So I want to see, this is the pedal. I want to look at throttle position sensor 2. We can look at the voltage there and see if we can probably get it to go wonky or something. I don't want to pull up too many data PIDs. So we have a desired angle. Say, hey, I'm desiring you to be this particular way. And then we have an actual angle. And then we have the actual throttle position sensor voltage. I want to see the voltage go wonky, but I need to see this drop. I need to see this drop, and I need to see the actual voltage go erratic. And then we could probably pull this intake hose off, observe this throttle plate, see what it looks like if it's got a lot of buildup. I don't want to touch anything integral. Move the connector a little bit and see if anything changes, because I have a propensity to move stuff and I probably inadvertently fix it. Just leave it alone. Let's start up and see what's going on. So our desired versus actual throttle angle are being met. I'm just going to let it warm up to normal operating temperature. Let's just go back here and see where our temperature is. It's not going to have engine temperature. Okay, so that's right, because I was in a throttle position only that information. So okay, so we're not going to have engine temp. Let's just see how low it'll go, and if we can get some snapshots of data here. I'm not going to pull out the scope or anything, because I think 1 second per division is enough for what we got going on. Typically, one thing we can do is, while it's running, let's just go out there and play with the connector a little bit, because it could be a pin fitment issue. Let's see what that's doing. Here's our connector. Let's just take a look at the data while I move the connector around. So I'm moving the wire. Nothing's taking place. Okay, I'm actually moving the connector up, down, right, left, and nothing's changing. Let's push on the connector. Pull it back, move it around. Nothing is changing. Yeah, nothing's changing. through the wiring harness. Nothing's changing. I mean, if there's a ground strap, there's something that could have been the issue. I mean, it may be worth just taking it around. Maybe I can get it to do it, because wherever the ground strap that goes to that throttle actuator, it could be defective and may need vibration to act up. Let me take it on a 6-mile drive, and then I'll come back and let you know what I find out. I took it on a 6-mile test drive, and nothing happened. So we have a throttle desired 9 to 10%, and it's still meeting the indicated. Voltage hasn't changed. I haven't seen any significant drop-offs. What I'm thinking, honestly, is moisture. I really think that's probably the causation of what we got going on. I think I can pull that cover off of the throttle body, excuse me, with the sensor mechanism, and then we could probably inspect what it looks like inside of there. I swear I should be able to, because it's the plastic and it got these retainer clips on it. I think we should do that, because wiggling the connector didn't do anything. Just the normal driving didn't do anything. I've had vehicles screw up on the strangest of occasions. Hell, I've had a vehicle only mess up during nighttime. Remember, I had a Civic only screw up when it was raining and humid outside. This might be one of those foreign cases. Oh, I need to open the hood too. I thought I could take this cover off, but it's riveted, unfortunately, so I can't do nothing with that. Oh boy. Let's pull the intake hose off, see what condition the throttle plate is in, and if it's got a lot of buildup on it, it's a sign of age. I mean, this is just the OG throttle body too. Might just have to roll the dice and just replace it, because let's just pull it off. Just pull it off and inspect the connector and all that fancy stuff. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of buildup in it. Let's take a look inside of it. All right, here we go. So you can see how dirty this throttle plate is. Take a look at this. Right there where that hole is for the idle air, if I recall properly. And look at all the oil that's built up on it. It's caked on there. And look at the throttle plate. It's got a lot of soot built up. Look around here. What could happen, that oil could work its way in that shaft all through here and inside the housing, and act as a conductor and some sort of electrolyte to bridge a connection, and it'll depending on if it's raining outside, it'll drop the voltage down. And that's why I'm saying it's important to be able to pull this cover off, to just to inspect it, to be on the safe side. I just feel better quoting the throttle body simply because of this. And not only is it going through here, I mean, depending on how this idle air system is, well, this motor, yeah, this is going to be the motor up here, depending on how it's designed, because this doesn't have a physical idle air control valve. I mean, if I recall properly, I'm thinking about a Ford. This is not a Ford, this is a Chevy. The motor is going to be encapsulated in here. This is going to be the driving gear for the motor. Then its shaft is through here, and this is the actuating motor here. So but I don't know where. What's up with this? Am I tripping? Does this go straight through for just air, or does it go up in here? I have to pull the throttle body off. I don't see it too often and really know. I can't remember. I have to physically pull this throttle plate off the throttle body. Because this does have coolant lines on it. Yeah, it does. Okay. I think it's worth just pulling the throttle body off real quick. Either way, I mean, I'm gonna have to quote a throttle body to be replaced. Okay, so this throttle body is used. There's some junkyard writing on top of there. I need to see where this hose go, because I don't know if it's like if depending on how this actuated opens here, or if there's something else behind it. I don't know. I just know that this is definitely going to be the motor, and then we're going to have some sensing mechanisms down here, and you have like a gear reduction. So I think this is a 10. There's a 10 down at the bottom. Then there's a 10 off on the side here. Let's just pull this off, because my curiosity is getting the best of me. Let's see where that glory hole goes. Oh, my light's dying. I did remember running into some sort of issue with this. Okay, so I gotta get the idle up system. Oh, this is just the PCV. Okay, so that's where that goes. Is it fully blocked off? Nope, it's right there. It's in the back, so it's definitely clogged up. This is probably going to have to be cleaned up too. This is going to have to be cleaned up. I'll figure that out. But if that oil's getting in there and dripping, and I just think it's just going to introduce itself inside of there. I know it probably seems impossible, but we got vacuum in the back of here. Vacuum could potentially bleed off into this housing, and you know we could probably get some fluid being introduced in there. So that's my logic, and I'm sticking with it. Let me call the throttle body. All right, we got the okay to replace the throttle body. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the rest of this stuff off, and should be in good shape. Okay. Now, I know I didn't probably do anything as thorough as I possibly could have, but I mean, I can about guarantee this is going to be an intermittent problem, and it's going to be pretty difficult to determine. And I would rather, I hate to say it, but he's an older guy. I don't want him to come back. This is the best decision I can make right now. Let's pull this hose off. I want to get that hose off and get it clean. Let's see how blocked off this is. I don't think it's as plugged up as I think it is, but we're gonna find out. Not as bad as I thought it was. I'm gonna clean it up anyway. Hey, well, ain't nothing brake cleaner can't fix. So. All right, let's get this. Make sure there's no pressure in the coolant system. Probably would be easier if I pulled this line off the back. Get all the pressure out. Push it. Glad I did that first before I did anything else. That would have been a disaster. Now, I got that off. Let's go ahead and close it back up. Take this off. Am I making a good decision here? Or should I just go on the side? The best thing to do, honestly, is take them studs out. Glory hole studs. Let's just do this. Yeah, let's get this one. I need to get a 90-degree pair of pliers. 90. Let's see where my brain is. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna need to put a bolt in there. Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh my gosh, that's hot. I don't know what I was expecting. Okay, so you stay there, and we're here. This is, oh my gosh. Yeah, look at all that. That's from the PCV system. Okay, that answered my question. Like I said, I was suspecting that it would leak through here. You see the cookie trail here, and get inside of there. Get inside of there, and then bleed over inside of here. I'm gonna drill this out, and we're gonna look inside of here once I get this throttle body replaced, and just to exercise my curiosity, we'll feed it, and then we'll go from there. This is just as I pull this off. I'm gonna pop the throttle body right back on. Let me run the O'Reilly's, get the new throttle body. Oh, what am I doing? Let's get this off. We're gonna elevate this. Let's just go to O'Reilly's, get a new throttle body, and then we'll drill these out and just take a look inside of it. Go from there. Look how clogged that orifice is with a PCV. I don't know if it shows up pretty well, but it's pretty bad. Oh, you can look right through it. I don't know if I got a good angle on this camera. But it's clogged up pretty bad. All right, let me go make some runs. We'll be back. All right, just got back from the parts store. If y'all know, I frequently patronize O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and they actually have a Hitachi. So this is what's going on there. It ain't no GM stuff. Hitachi's a good brand for Hondas. I'm not that particular guy. You know, we gotta put certain brand name parts on vehicles when they are reputable within one company and maybe not in another. So I need to cut this off. Who's gonna read this? Readings for losers. Do not return this product to retail store. All right. Let me see if I can get this off of here. So we're gonna pop this on, and I have to change the oil. I'm gonna just work on doing that tomorrow because I got somewhere I gotta be tonight. I got invited somewhere. Somebody's gonna take me out to dinner. I guess I might as well take them up on it, right? They're paying. It is what it is. All right, let's make this happen. Now, I'm gonna get this in there first, and then the other one is gonna be the next thing. I swear I had problems getting this in here because of the hose, and I had to take the stud. Okay, okay, I think I can make it work. Let's try this. All right, pull this. Oh, let me. Okay, maybe I just should put it on first. Okay, let's just do that. Put it on first, and then I'll screw around with it. Yeah, this is a lot easier. Okay, now I just gotta worry about getting the hose pushed on. Where's my 90 degree? I hope this don't leak. I feel like it went on a little loose. Like, oh man. Hopefully it doesn't leak. I don't want to have to use aftermarket hose clamps on here. I feel like this, hopefully this should work out. We'll see. If it leaks, then I'm just gonna have to put aftermarket hose clamps on it. Hopefully it don't though. Basically, the only thing I got going for myself is being hopeful in this case. What I'm supposed to do is a pressure test that would validate not having to put any sort of aftermarket hose on it. That's what I should do, but I'm not gonna listen to myself. That's what I should do. What's literally gonna happen is I'm not gonna do it, and I'm gonna probably regret not doing what I should have done. This is how life works. I just told somebody, I'm like, well, I need to, best to listen to that inner voice. Listen to yourself. All right, let's put this on there. That gasket was good. I'm not going to change it. I know it's weird. I got a brand new gasket, but if nothing was wrong with the one that was on there, you know, why bother changing it? It's a perfectly good looking gasket. Gosh, I hope this don't leak. Guess I got a lot of smash. She's on there tight. I know I'm supposed to pressure test it. I just know I should. Let me just do what I should do. I got like 13 psi on it, and I'm not feeling anything at the bottom. So if it's airtight, then it's watertight, right? So I think we're fine. I'm gonna let that. Oh shit! Oh god! Gosh darn it! Glad y'all didn't see that. I'm not even gonna edit that out. Moving on with life. All right, let me get the air out properly, and then we'll. I ate coolant on that one. Wow. Let's get everything back on, and I'll pull it out and douse some water on these components so it can. I can dilute it, and we'll check our data. Man, look, I got reminded real quick why I don't drink antifreeze recreationally. I'm gonna leave that trouble code in there, and I'm just gonna start right on up just to see what happened. Let me see, that trouble code still should be in there once I created another one. Yeah, okay. Leave that alone. Let's go to live data. Let's go to actuating, throttle actuator control. Let's just pull up our throttle body and see if, now I should see the, throttle, depth, it should drop. Look how insignificant that is. So because of the overwhelming amount of carbon buildup, it had to make a lot of accommodation. And that's what I was meaning by throttle compensation. So this is good right here. I like this. We're at 3%. It doesn't have to overexert itself. And it could have been, clean the throttle body may have helped, but I just don't feel comfortable with the older guy driving the truck. And I hate to keep calling him older. But he's senior citizen age. I don't want him out. It's new. It's covered under warranty. We shouldn't have any issues. There's just too many variables for him to be out on the road, and me just been like, let's just clean it and roll the dice. If it was my truck, I would have cleaned the throttle body all day and rolled it out. But it's not. It's a customer's car, and for reputational purposes, I'm going to replace this particular part based off of what I observed. And let's go ahead and clear this code here. Code erased successfully. Let me just shut it back down for a little bit. I'm going to clear it again. I should have took it the first time though, but I just want to make sure. Okay, no fault codes. All right, I'm going to have to take this on test drive behind the scenes, and I'm just going to have to update in the description what take place. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and take those rivets out and look inside the throttle body motor area. Top this in. So, all right, let's see what takes place with this. Dangerous. All right, let's take a gander side of here. Like I said, this is just total speculation at the moment. Like, I don't know what to expect, but it would be nice to be right. But I have to accept the fact that I'm not always right. It's a tough pill to swallow. Overcome those. Okay. All right, let me get this. And so it's not designed like I thought it was. So these are the pins to our motor. And I guess the throttle position. Wait, let's see here. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be inside of there. Yeah, throttle position sensor is gonna be inside of here. This portion rotates, so I have to peel this cap off. But it's not wet or moist inside of here. I think maybe I can separate this. Yeah, it's not okay. Okay, let's take a gander inside of here. So as this rotates, there's these springs that come in contact with this base here, and as it goes up and down, the resistance change and we get a difference in voltage. So it wasn't designed like I thought it was, and again, it was just an assumption. What I was assuming, that maybe these fingers here probably lost contact at some point where it rubbed in a common area. No, I mean, I'm not going to find out, and that's something I'm never going to know. And like I said, a clean is very dry in here, so cleaning the throttle body could have worked. It could have not worked. I don't know. This is a gear. This is metal. This is, see, this is a 2003. And these are metal gears. It's nothing, no plastic crap. This is why they last so long. That little play, not sure if that had anything to do with it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it does affect the response time. And this is just over years and years of use. The gear mesh is gonna change. That's all that is. The motor, just the pinion for the motor, and the spur gear here. So that's just age. But we got a new one in there. You should have picked up, I don't know, maybe like a 10th on the response time, on the 1/8 of a mile, but I wouldn't know that. Look, I'm gonna let this ride out. It's done. Like I said, it was a straight up conjecture, what I was assuming. I can't, I looked inside of it. I was dead wrong. Hey, it's not mine. If anything happened, I'll definitely update. Hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, how to reach some more work. See you on the next one.